Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Clean With Me video. Or if you are new, welcome for the first time. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. If you guys need any type of motivation to get your cleaning done today, make sure you go ahead and clean along with me because I have tons and tons of cleaning motivation for you guys in this video. If you haven't, make sure you hit subscribe and also click the little notification bell so you don't miss out when I post a new video, and also make sure you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because it really helps me out, you guys. Can see I am starting off with my windows. My windows really needed a good wipe down. The weather here has been super weird lately. It's like you go outside and it's hot, and then randomly it starts getting cool out of nowhere, and it's just been very gloomy and disgusting outside. So I felt like I needed to give my windows a good wipe down, also by the windowsills, because with any type of rain, you know, eventually you start getting like any little dirt inside, and you think that because your windows are very sealed off and all that, that won't happen, but unfortunately it does happen. So it was time for me to give a good deep cleaning to the house, and that included my windows as well. now that I am done wiping off all of the windows from downstairs, I went ahead and decided to go and give a good vacuuming to my couches. I did get in the couches. Obviously, when you have people over or just like your kids or anything that they love to eat on the couches, you get crumbs everywhere. But I also like to get the sides and the front of my couch sometimes. I try to do this at least maybe twice a month. We do have a puppy, so the puppy runs around and he shreds hair and all that. So, I like to go ahead and give them a good vacuuming to get any dirt, hair, or lint off of them that may be getting stuck onto them. You'd be surprised you don't see anything on there, but when you do pass the vacuum and see that dirt inside of it, it's incredible to see how much dirt gets picked up. And yes, my couch is a little on the old side. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front that, I don't have like fancy furniture or anything like that. Half of the things that we have, they have been given to us, but I like to take care of what I have. That's just how grateful I am, because you never know who's going to need something, and you might be able to pass that down to them as well, or you might be able to get them something. But anything that's given to you guys, just take care of it and treasure it, because you never know. You could have nothing. And now I'm just going ahead and getting these shoes off of the floor and sweeping up this area. This whole living room area is just one couch and a telescope that my mother-in-law got for the whole family, but it does stay in this house since this house is the biggest. Everybody comes to stay here, and this is where we have our like family gatherings and all that, so that's why the telescope is here as well. But I have no clue as to how to dress down this room. I feel like all I have in here are just like frames on the wall and the shoe rack, which the shoe rack, I do want to get something bigger. I did buy that shoe rack from Bed Bath & Beyond, and it was about $12, but I feel like it's just way too small for this area, and I'm just not content with it anymore. But I do want to get something a little bigger and more sturdier, and something where you can actually sit on to, get your shoes on or off. Just, try to make it look more formal, more nice. And, to just, since there's so much space here, I just want something more that'll just pop and look better. And as you guys saw, when I pulled that sofa back, all that mess there, my nephew from my husband's side, when he comes over, you know how kids are, especially little babies, toddlers, that they like to play with everything. So things got lost back there. And then there's just a tent that my son has been playing with his toys in there, a tent that he's had since he was a baby, and we've still kept it. So he fit in it, so I said, why not? But I do want to go ahead and get him something more bigger, something more appropriate for his age, because the colors and just the fact that it says little nursery on there, you can tell that it is for a baby. But I do want to go ahead and get him something a little more spacious and all that. Go ahead and start folding all of these sheets up. These sheets were from when we had a ton of family over. My sister did show up in January, so she showed up like, I believe it was like the second day of the month. She just surprised us all, and we had an amazing time. I had so much fun seeing my niece and nephews, and my sister and her husband and all that. We had a good time. So with so much family being over for the holidays and all that, things got dirty pretty quickly and all that, and we had to take them to a laundromat. We don't have a washer or dryer, and that is okay with me. I have absolutely no problem with that. But we finally got around to it, and I decided to go ahead and wash them all so I can put them back. And as you guys can see, I'm separating certain pillowcases, and that's because for the sheets that are a set with pillowcases, I like to use one pillowcase to put everything away in. That way I don't feel like I'm rummaging around the linen closet looking for everything that matches to put it on the bed for, when a guest comes over, or, for me and my husband's bed, or for my son's bed, and all that. So I do use a pillowcase to put all of the other sheets in there, and then that way when you're in need of one, you can just easily look through the linen closet, grab it, and everything is inside that you need to make your bed. Now that I am done folding up all those sheets that I felt like took forever to do, I'm gonna go ahead with the vacuum and pass it on these sofas as well. My son does like to eat in this one a lot as well. He loves to have his chips there or his cookies, especially when he's watching his YouTube videos or whatever he's watching on Netflix at the moment. And it tends to get crummy pretty quickly. But I like to try and vacuum this sofa at least once a week, or if I can't, then once every 2 weeks, whenever I have the chance, simply because of the crumbs and all that stuff. But I try to be on top of these sofas more than I do with the first one you guys saw, because the first one nobody really sits there. But you'd be surprised when you go to clean it off, you'd be surprised to see how much crumbs accumulate in that one as well. But I am vacuuming the cushions first, and then I like to give the wooden part of the sofa, the frame of it, a good vacuuming as well, because dust does collect in there as well, and it gets pretty gross sometimes. I can definitely not be the only mom who moves the furniture and finds things behind the sofa. Just like in the other one. Every time I move the furniture, you guys, to give it a good like deep cleaning, I always see something back there and it drives me insane. But what can you do? Kids will be kids, and that's just how it is. But I did find a bouncy ball and one of my scrunchies that I was actually looking for. So how my scrunchie got back there, I don't have the slightest clue. And now I am going to go ahead and just clean off this fan, give it a good little dusting. These fans do tend to pick up a lot of dust quickly, and it's pretty annoying. I do want to go ahead and next time that I clean them off, I do want to try a pillowcase method. So I think next time that I get a chance, or I remember, because chances are I'm going to forget, I'll look like in a dollar store for like the cheapest pillowcase that I can find, and just use that to undust a fan. I did hear that that method works really well, but from time to time I do like to go ahead with a damp paper towel or, you know, rag or something with cleaning solution. I like to go ahead and pass it on the panels just to get like that extra dirt off of it, you know, if you haven't done them in a while. But, you know, from there, just keep up with them to just give them a really good dusting and all that. But I do like my damp rag or paper towel method. I just feel like it gets it cleaner and just gets off that extra like dust that, you know, dry cleaning, if you want to say, won't do. And now I'm just going to go ahead and dust off with a damp paper towel my son's entertainment center, because as you can see, what decorations here would be mine? As you can see, my son's Nintendo Switch is on there with his dock, his board games, and his cases, and his remotes, and it just, I guess the only thing that we're allowed to have on there is the TV. But everything else, every other space in there is his. We do have his Nintendo Switch down there because we don't want him having it in the bedroom. You know, don't want to be that crazy mom who tries to wake up like at 2, 3 in the morning to see if her child is sleeping and then, come and find him on his Switch. But I am going to go ahead and dust off every little space in this entertainment center. And I'm going to go ahead and fix his games and all that. And I'm undusting his dock so that it won't have any dust in there, because I know how I can get into the little areas where the connection goes. And we don't want it messing up anytime soon because Nintendo Switches are expensive. And I'm just going in with my broom again, giving this floor a really good sweeping. This tile tends to pick up a lot of dirt, you guys. It can be like the sunniest day, like we don't have any dirt on the little pathway to come inside or anything like that, but you will still get dirt like crazy in here. And I broom so much because since we do have a puppy, like I said before, he does shed a lot of hair. And I'm pretty sure it might have something to do with the food he eats, but I am looking into trying to make like homemade food for him that's approved by our vet. So that's something I'm still working on. But for now, he is still on his kibble, and I really want to do something about it fast. But anyways, you guys, like I said, he does shred a lot of hair and he does track in a lot of dirt. And just not only him, everybody. We have everybody, coming in through the front door. Everybody comes in through the garage sometimes, and then just coming in through the back sliding doors and all that stuff. So everything tracks in dirt. We do have a rug in the front door, but I feel like it doesn't take off all the dirt. So eventually, we still have dirt inside the house. And also through the sliding doors, we don't have a rug either, but I am looking into getting one for that area as well. And hopefully that will help some with all of the dirt tracking. But whether I like to or not, every time I broom, there's just a lot of dirt and hair, and it's just gross sometimes. And you guys can see it right there. You guys can see it right there to the right side of the video towards that blue wall. All those paper towels you see on there are the ones that I was using cleaning. I'm the type of person that when I'm cleaning, I'm already gonna broom. So, any type of like paper towel I'm using or crumbs I find on the table or whatever, it just goes on the floor. Everything just goes on the floor. And I just prefer to sweep it up and pass the broom like 5,000 times to make sure that I'm getting every single crumb or lint or hair or whatever the case may be, get it into one section, and I leave it in that one little section, and then I will come with the dustpan, and then I will go ahead and just pick everything up. And then there's times where I mop, and after I mop, I go ahead and pass the broom again, and there's still dirt. So I don't know, it's just these tile floors they just pick up so much dirt so quickly, and it's just ridiculous sometimes. I do see that people vacuum their floors. I, however, don't think that my vacuum is strong enough to pick up dirt like that from the floor. I feel like it only works best on the rug, and on the rug it does really do a great job. But yeah, I've never vacuumed the floor. Me personally, I think it's weird. But I mean, hey, like I stated in my previous cleaning video, if I had the tools for it, why not? I would be up for it. But I just personally just find it weird to vacuum a floor. I grew up in a Hispanic household where the weekends were cleaning days, and if you're Hispanic or from another ethnicity or whatever, you guys would know that weekends are for cleaning. So it was the broom and your dustpan. Nothing of a vacuum. You would say anything about a vacuum, and your parents or grandparents, in my case, my mom and my grandma, would just look at me weird and just hand you the broom and go get your job done. tried not to do so much with the table. I had wiped down the table. Excuse me guys, for the life of me today I cannot talk. I've just been so busy, I'm half asleep. But anyways, I tried not to wipe down the table. I had wiped it down the day before I had recorded this video, and I was just trying to wipe off with my hand, any little crumbs or anything like that that were on there. And also mainly because my son was doing his virtual schooling, I didn't want to interrupt him too much. I didn't want to interrupt him at all while he was doing virtual schooling, but the house was just driving me so crazy, and just the thought that I had to declutter some things in certain cabinets was driving me crazy as well. So I just went ahead and I did it anyways, and I tried to be as quiet as possible. I did have him pop his headphones in since I was using the vacuum, but I just felt like I had to get it done because it was really driving me crazy. Giving the downstairs bathroom a good wipe down. I went ahead and wiped down the windows. I went ahead and wiped down the mirrors and the toilet seat and the sink area, simply because since it is a bathroom that everybody mainly uses when they're downstairs, you know, with this whole virus thing, I do find myself wiping down these certain areas a lot more than usual, you know, simply because we want to be safe and all that. And it's mainly for my kid, you guys. You know, like, I try to keep my house as sanitized as possible for him because I just don't want him to get sick or anything like that. But yeah, I went ahead and gave the bathroom a good wipe down and a good cleaning. I felt like it was in need of it. Even though it didn't look too bad, I just could feel like the germs. I don't know, I have like a germophobia and I tend to like over clean too much. You know, my husband says that I overdo it sometimes, but you know, as long as everybody's good and healthy, then I am happy. And I did want to go ahead and ask if anybody in the comments below could give me any tips. This is half of a bathroom and it is pretty small, you guys. It's also weirdly shaped. The ceiling is kind of like slanted due to it being under the staircase. So I do have that little blue table that you guys will see in a little bit when I push it forward. This little blue table was given to me by a friend, and what I did was I went ahead and repainted it. It was a dark brown, but for, you know, wanting to put it in the bathroom to make good use out of it, I went ahead and spray painted it that pretty light blue color that it has. And as you guys can see, the brown section on the legs, I did tie string around it just to give it like a pop of color, you know, pop of something different, not just to be completely blue and stuff. And I do have a cubby under it, but right now it just has a bag of pads. Since I'm usually downstairs, I bring them downstairs for that time of the month, you know. And I do have a bottle of alcohol. The only storage that we do have is the medicine cabinet, but I feel like it's way too small. Only like small short bottles can fit there, and you know, even then it's not that spacious. But if you guys have any tips as to what I can do with this bathroom for storage, please let me know in the comments below, because I would really love to get some storage in there and just make it look a little different, because I don't want to overcrowd the little table with, you know, so much stuff and then it looks ugly and all that, or, you know, overcrowded and stuff. So now, as you guys seen in my previous cleaning videos, I like to wipe down my counters before I go ahead and start washing my dishes. A lot of people might think that it's pointless, but I don't know, like, I just like my counters cleaned off first. You know, that way I feel like I'm working in a clean area when I'm washing my dishes. And also, it's kind of pointless since I am going to go ahead and declutter. But like I said, you guys, I like to work in a clean workspace. You know, I want to feel like it's clean. I want to feel like it has space, enough space for me to, you know, put all the things that I need to get rid of and all that. Because decluttering is overwhelming as it is, because you have to bring everything down and look at everything and, you know, just put things on one side that you're going to get rid of, and then on the other side put the things that you are going to stay with, and just have everything put back. And you know, you are gonna have to clean down the counters again, but that is perfectly fine by me as long as I have a good workspace. That way I feel like my mind is clear and it's not clouded with just all the clutter around me, and you know, I can work quickly and be you know, be quick about it and know exactly what it is that I'm doing. sake of it being clean, this poor dishwasher. This dishwasher does not work to my understanding, and even if it did, I've said this plenty of times, I wouldn't use it. I don't like dishwashers. But I went ahead and gave it a good wipe down because regardless, it still gets dirty when you're cooking or just, you know, your everyday throughout time dust that gets stuck on there and all that. So I went ahead and gave it a good wipe down, and then I finished wiping down my stove and the countertops behind our microwave, like I said, just so that I can get rid of any crumbs and dust and all that stuff that just falls out. And also so that I could have a clean working space when I go ahead and start decluttering on my cabinets. For the decluttering time. I feel like the decluttering time really didn't take me long to do, simply because I kind of already knew what I wanted to go in and do. I did, however, take everything out and gave the insides a good wipe down really quickly. And we do have cabinets. I don't want to say that we have a lot, and I don't want to say that we don't have a lot either, but I will say that they aren't as spacious enough. And you know, as you guys can see, they do have that piece of wood right in the middle, which drives me crazy sometimes when I'm trying to grab something. So we do have to use like certain cabinets for like storage as well and all that stuff. But starting with the dishes, I do have like my Pyrex dishes in there as well, with my bowls and my, you know, regular eating plates and all that stuff, and some of the Tupperware that, you know, I use to put food away in and all that. I have them all in the same area, but I do try to keep them separate so that I have all the plates that we do use on a daily basis closer to us than we do the Tupperware. And then, you know, because rarely we have leftovers, rarely. Like when I cook, I try to cook enough for that same night. Because let's be honest, you guys, not everybody's going to eat the leftovers, and then days pass by and it ends up, you know, going to waste. And that is one of my pet peeves, is the food that goes to waste. I absolutely can't stand it because, you know, not everybody has something to eat. So, but yeah, I went ahead and just rearranged everything after I took out exactly what it was that I was going to get rid of, and just gave them a good wipe down since they were in need. And now I am doing my cups and mugs and all that stuff, and I also went ahead and rearranged them after I took out everything that I was going to donate. And I feel like that's a good thing to do, so that they just don't go to waste. You know, just donate them somewhere where you know that somebody who needs them will be able to pick them up and give them good use. And also, when decluttering, I do have a tip. I have a tip of, you know, look at everything first. Even if you're not going to do it that day, look at everything first. Like if everything is like visual, not hiding and all that stuff, not out of sight. Like if everything is visual, just give it a good look and start thinking about what it is that you don't use anymore and it's just taking up space in there. And just, you know, the day that you are going to do it, keep in mind exactly what it was that you were going to get rid of, and trust me, you guys, just get rid of it. Because I've had a bad habit of saying, oh, but maybe I can use this for this day, and you know, and then months pass by, years pass by, and I haven't touched it. I know that with certain things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I knew I should have put it away. But, you know, I try to be as minimal as possible. I'm not saying that I am a minimalist, because we do have a ton of stuff. but I try to be as minimal as possible with certain things because I just don't like having things piled up and clutter up, and then it's, you know, it's more of a hassle for you to get rid of. Let's say you ever want to move or anything like that, and then, you know, it's just more overwhelming on top of having to pack things away and all that stuff, having to go through things to get rid of, or just taking extra baggage with you. And that's just, for me, that's just like too much work, and it's something that I don't like. So I try to declutter every few months and, you know, try to donate things because I know that it'll be better off with somebody else who would give it good use instead of just sitting there with me and, you know, not just getting any use out of anything.
Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil, da-da-da. Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil, da-da-da.
And this, you guys, if it's not a drawer, it is a cabinet that we all have in our house. Not just, you know, just everybody doesn't admit it, but this became like my tea slash Tupperware slash medicine cabinet, and it was driving me crazy because I couldn't put things away and I had to take everything out to grab one thing, and it was just driving me nuts. So what I did was I went ahead and I took out some ice tray molds that we had just sitting there, along with some Jello molds that honestly, you guys, we haven't touched them in years, and I just didn't want them sitting there anymore, just, you know, collecting dust or whatever. So I went ahead and made the decision of getting rid of them, and then I'm just putting some extra Tupperware that we do use. You know, like for when we go out or something, you know, to like a family gathering or something, like at the beach or whatever, and you know, you take your own dish. Those type of Tupperware, I put them at the very top. And in my second shelf, I went ahead and added my teas. As you guys can see right now, I'm playing around with everything, trying to see how it is that I fix everything up, what's more convenient for me, what isn't convenient for me. But I did go ahead and end up leaving them in the second shelf. And on the bottom shelf, I just went ahead and added the vitamins that we take, and also like some allergy medicine for my son and all that stuff, because my son has, I want to say, year-round allergies, but at the same time seasonal allergies, because it's like during seasons that he gets allergies and stuff, but they do last him a long time and he gets like a really bad cough. So I went ahead and just left that medication downstairs, since we are downstairs majority of the time, just so that it can be a quicker reach and all that stuff. And also I do have my PCOS supplement downstairs as well, since I do have to take it when I eat. And just some olive oil that I used because my spice cabinet was organized, but it was just full and I didn't feel like putting it in the pantry, because if not, then, you know, I feel like after a while it would just get shoved in the back somewhere. But my pantry is a whole different other case. I didn't take care of it that day, but it is a whole different other case. Like, I want a system for my refrigerator and a system for my pantry, something that would work. So as well, you guys, if you have any ideas on that, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know on Instagram, anywhere you guys feel free to, you know, you can feel free to contact me. It doesn't matter. I would just love to hear from you, your opinions and inputs on how I can make a system that would really work.
When it hurts like this,
and now in the last cabinet that I took care of in this video, I was just rearranging all of my baking stuff. I did not get rid of anything from here except for one tray. This tray was from Dollar Tree, so that can tell you everything. It did get cracked, And I went ahead and just pulled that out and got rid of it, and I just put all my baking stuff back in there. There wasn't really a specific way as to how I wanted to organize these. I just wanted it to look clean and, semi-organized. So I just went ahead and put the things how I felt would look good and all that stuff. And you can see me here fighting with this Christmas plate and all that stuff. So yeah, I just put everything in a way where I felt like I could find it and know exactly where it was if I went, if I needed to go ahead and use it. But it's not organized how I would have preferred. But it was in a way that it looks better than what it was before.
When it hurts like this.
And now I'm just giving my refrigerator a little wipe down as well, since there are tiny hands that like to touch this refrigerator all day long. I went ahead and gave the handles a good wipe down, and then just the front of it, because my son has a tendency of acting like a monkey and climbing my refrigerator and a little wall that's literally in front of the refrigerator. So I constantly have to get on him about that, and it just drives me crazy how he has monkey tendencies. But it's fine. I got it wiped off, and I got the handles wiped off. And then I went ahead and just gave the top of my refrigerator some love, because that is one place that I feel like I overlook. And it was in need of a cleaning. And then I just got rid of some cereal boxes that, haven't been touched in forever. And to my surprise, I'm glad that I went ahead and decided to get rid of them, because they were open, like they weren't closed all the way, and the bags where the cereal come in, they were open. So I didn't feel comfortable putting them back and feeding them to my family, thinking and knowing that with all this dust that falls on a daily basis, falls into the cereal and all that stuff, and I just didn't want that, going into my family's mouths. So I went ahead and decided to just throw them away and get rid of them. But I do want to go ahead and get some containers, you guys. I did see them at Walmart. I am going to try and go ahead and link them in the description box below so that you guys can see them. And if I find any other ones, maybe I'll go ahead and link them in the description box below. But these are just some that I have been looking into. And I do want to go ahead and just get some and, pour the cereal into those and just put them on top of my refrigerator. Simply because, I feel like on top of my refrigerator is just extra space that I can use. I do notice that not everybody uses the top of their refrigerator for storage, but I would definitely use it for my cereal. And also because simply my pantry isn't just big enough. Even if I was to have a system in my pantry, it just wouldn't be big enough for all the things that, I would like to put away in there. And now I am just putting away the last of the dishes that I had just washed, even though I am going to wash a ton more in a little bit. But just going, to make space for the new dishes. And just so that I wouldn't have to have so many to put away and all that. And then I'm just going to finish cleaning up my counters. And almost done there. but it's not your kids, it's your own pets. I went ahead and moved the little furniture from my coffee station and found a ton of kibble on there. My puppy is a messy eater. There, ooh, excuse me guys. There is times where you go ahead and serve him his food and then he just makes a complete mess everywhere. And then before I went ahead and disinfected my sink, I went ahead and gave my dog's bowls a good washing, simply because I don't like to have his food, you know, with his drool in his bowls. And it might sound disgusting to a lot of people, but my pet is like my child and I like to make sure that things for him are sanitized. But not to worry, because he does have his own sponge, so I like to go ahead and wash his bowls every so often, just so that he can have, you know, actual clean fresh water and a fresh bowl for his food. And I like to try and do this at least once to twice a week. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and wash off his sponge. And I did go ahead and spray the sink down with my solution of bleach and Fabuloso. I went ahead and sprayed that down, and then I washed it off, and then I went ahead and resprayed everything down, and I added some of my Ajax soap on there, and then I used my scrub brush to go ahead and sanitize my sink. I used to go ahead and just in my sink area just go ahead and throw some soap on there, and then I used to fill up my scrub brush. But I felt like sometimes it would take too long, because then you would have to open it and wash it out just to make sure that you wouldn't have like any leftover bleach or water in there. And I just felt like it was too much of a pain, but you know, to each their own. So now what I do is I just go ahead and spray down the sink area with the solution and some soap, and then I just use my scrub brush to scrub everything down. And then I'll just go ahead and wash off the bristles, and then just go ahead and water down the sink to get rid of all that soap. Lastly, I went ahead and kept sweeping up my kitchen and finished organizing things to put them where they belonged. And then I went ahead and I went right back by the front door, you guys, off camera, and I reswept everything again from having people coming in and out of the house, and you know, just tracking in all that dirt and leaves from outside. Since the day is so gloomy, everything outside is like wet and sticky, and it just felt horrible. So I went ahead and reswept everything, and also I gave my trash can a good wipe down. I don't understand why, like, the trash can just gets so dirty. Like, there's a bag in there, and then like the inside of the top or like the outside areas just sometimes end up full of stuff, and it's a pain sometimes. But I went ahead and gave that a good wipe down and finished sweeping up the house, trying to make sure that I grabbed everything that was dirt, hair, lint, dust, whatever the case may be. Try to make sure that I grabbed all of that. And then lastly, I went ahead and just put the shoes back into their place, and then that way everybody could find their shoes and know exactly where to put them back, which is never the case. But I went ahead and reorganized everybody's shoes back to where they belonged, and then I was done for the day, you guys. the house, at least on the bottom part, was nice and clean and it looked great. I was gonna go ahead and do the top part as well, but as I've mentioned before, I do have PCOS and I get tired pretty quickly and all that, so I didn't want to overexhaust myself. And from all the decluttering and deep cleaning, you guys, it did take me about 6 hours. I did start at 7:30 in the morning and I was done about 1:50 in the afternoon. But you know, I got it done. I got done what I could and it looked good and it felt good to have the house clean. But if you guys have stuck around this far, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you went ahead and cleaned this up with me, thank you guys so much for doing so. And to those who have just watched, I hope this helped you guys. I hope this has motivated you guys to go ahead and get some cleaning done, some decluttering done. And thanks again, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.